you deal a lot with wealthy individuals. And going back to the beginning, the structure, asset protection, asset preservation, which are two different things.
Wealthy people tend to have grown wealth in a specific thing, and they stay very close to their core competency, and anything that's not their core, they're going to do with like friends. Not strangers, but like, all right, boom. So you do this well. Tell me, come with me to this meeting and tell me if they bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's one. And then the other thing is they focus a lot on like skill building and personal development. Like everything is like, I need to know more. I need to be getting better. I need to, it's so much less downtime and, chilling than like most people would expect when a person has $100 million or $500 million that they like chill a lot.
So wealthy people, I would assume that they think about way beyond the average time horizon.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's just a cog in the actual vision of what their intent is.
So welcome back to Flippin SoFlo. We have a very special guest. It's awesome because she's not super real estate centric, which you do a lot of things around real estate. But she wasn't a wholesaler. She didn't come up through the real estate game, but she has a very different background, which is awesome. Legal background. You're a studette from what I've gathered in terms of like raising funds and SEC and all the fundraising and family office and that kind of stuff. We can get into that. But LaVonne Idlette, thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
She's also the fiance, very clear, so that he knows, of a good friend of mine. All right, the Mathis twins. You might know them. Okay, they're loud and obnoxious, and they'll be here in 2 weeks. But we love those guys anyway. How do you deal with him? I'm just curious. We'll start there.
He's very entertaining. You have to, when he's on, you have to ask him how we met, because his version is so fake, but like really over the top, and it's hilarious. I'm like, bro, you were just high. That's not how it happened at all.
Oh man, yeah, that's him. That's him. Yeah. Them together is a problem, like in the best way.
But he gets a lot of undue treatment because Germ actually has a personality similar to mine, where like you go and meet every single person in the room and all that. Josh is more like, oh, I already know him. I'm gonna talk to him and I'm gonna compliment a couple people. I'm gonna stay in one place. But now, because every person in the room has already met Germ, they're like, oh, I met your husband. And I'm like, you didn't, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it was close, but it wasn't that one.
Yeah,
no, they're funny. They're very different, but they're also very, very alike.
Yes.
And I don't know if that makes sense, but they are twins, so it makes sense. So you're also an Olympian.
Yes. Which
is dope. It's the first Olympian I've had sit in that chair.
Hey.
I almost was an Olympian in Cuba, but that's a whole different. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't happen either. That's me channeling my inner Josh and Jeremy. So let's go back to the beginning. So you're obviously an attorney, right? And what do you practice? What do you specify in? Because you're in a very like niche.
Yeah, so I'd say I specialize in securities and complex estates. So within complex estates, there's a lot of securities work, but I help people with structuring their estate, whether for privacy, asset protection, wealth preservation, and acceleration. Acceleration would be having your own funds, having your own syndications, investing with others, and then philanthropy. So all the entities, strategy, and implementation to lower your tax bill and pass your things home.
The right way.
Yeah.
So you can avoid probate.
Yeah. We don't like anything that's got like judges and lawyers. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. That's great. That's the complete opposite of the people I deal with. I know what it's like on the other side of the spectrum, which is the shit shows, the title shit shows, that people don't do the right planning ahead of time. And then by that time, it's too late. And now you got siblings fighting over everything, or the cousin, or the this or the that. People come out of the woodworks with probates all the time. You got bills, you got attorneys that get them at judgments, right? All that kind of stuff. And I just always say, don't leave what you're passing on, what you've worked hard for, up to a judge.
Right.
They don't have your best interest in mind.
They don't know you. They don't care.
They don't care. It's
Today is another day of 100 cases.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think, of course, there's different levels of complexity. Like the clients that you're usually dealing with is, higher net worths and stuff like that. But it's really not that hard at a simple level. Even if you have, $1 to $5 million or whatever it is, that's not hard to implement. Basic stuff.
Yeah, most things are simple. You just need some simple documentation and some signatures, and you can avoid so many problems. Like, I know the most people who end up in problems are only children, because they assume, ain't that like all I need? My parent has a will. Even if I go to probate court, nothing's gonna happen. And then the cousin who visited 3 times is gonna say, your mama promised me the car and this and this. And you like, what?
Yeah.
She been sick for 5 years. We ain't seen you. Like,
yeah, man. And it goes the opposite way, too. We have a higher end property that we're buying. There's 5 heirs. 3 out of the 5 are on board. We got like all their deeds and stuff. There's a 4th one that's kind of on the 50-50. And then there's the one. There's the one guy, the one that never took care of mom and this and that. But is fighting the entire thing tooth and nail, and wouldn't you know it, he's also the one living in it. That's typically how it goes, right?
I want this property for free. I don't want to have to figure out how to pay for it either. Just give me y'all's 1/4.
And guess who's not paying the property taxes? Your boy. He's not paying it. And he's just like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I deserve this. And I'm like, what? There was 4 other brothers that were around and actually took care of mom. But anyway, on a basic level, for anybody watching, what would you say is very simple, something very simple that they can implement for a basic level of asset protection?
Yeah, I think that every single person alive should have 5 essential documents. And I call them essential documents on purpose.
Okay.
One's a living trust, and that's just to avoid probate 100%. And that's just because trusts are not contestable and wills are. So you want that
nugget,
that document to say what your wishes are, give you the things, but it's revocable, so you can change it anytime you want. And then you need a pour over will, because basically what happens for most people is you think about every big ticket item, like I got a house, a car, this or that, and then everything else in your life you have completely forgot about it, and that will end up having to go through probate. So the pour over will's job is just say, anything I might have forgot, throw it in the trust. And then a financial power of attorney, which is literally because people become incapacitated all the time, get dementia, that sort of stuff, and almost no one talks enough about their money and like how to do things for them. So I've seen people lose houses because the person is in a coma or incapacitated. No one has been paying the bills because they don't have access to the accounts and whatnot. And then, so that document is to save that. There's a person, a couple people, backups. You always need backups. And then healthcare directives so that your family don't fight in the hallway. So in the hospital,
not resuscitate.
Yeah, in the hospital, people are all like, "I know his heart. He don't want no blood." And you're like, "You haven't seen him since he was in the 4th grade. You don't know him." Like,
yeah,
he's an adult now, and he definitely wants to be resuscitated. He definitely wants to live. Like, what are you talking about?
He's got kids. He
Right. So having that in writing with your own wishes on it, super important. I mean, you could be petty about it, and I say this respectfully. My grandmother is a person who's like, "Okay, I wrote my own eulogy. I don't want these people on my program. I don't want these people sitting in the front of my service."
No.
And mind you, she wrote this like 20 years ago. She's still alive. And I'm like, no updates?
No updates?
So, yeah, they still not invited to be on the program.
Good for her, though. Yeah. I like that.
That's in your healthcare directives, just like what you want to happen to your body. So you have autonomy over yourself. And then,
which you should.
Of course. And it also allows, and then the last document is a HIPAA disclosure, and that's literally so that you can have an advocate for you when you are incapacitated. So a person will have the ability to look at your medical records and say, "We sure they need all these?" Like, because medical is literally a great business, which means that it's not necessarily always in the best interest of your body.
No. It's well, if we've learned anything from insurance companies, is that they suck, and it's all good while you're paying your premiums, but it's a whole nother story when you actually get sick or something happens. Long-term healthcare too, or I think it's called long-term healthcare when people get elderly.
Yep.
and that kind of stuff. There's premiums that you can pay into, so you don't end up on someone's couch and an issue for somebody.
That's right. That the best thing that you can ever do is prepare yourself to not be the burden for your family. So that couple extra dollars to get the long-term care rider into a regular insurance policy, night and day.
It's worth every penny.
Worth every penny.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's definitely worth every penny. I mean, I've seen it. It's sad because I'm in a business where I bought a lot of houses out of probate or guardianships or incapacitated people. And man, I would never treat my family that way, but I'm sure you wouldn't either. But man, the way that some people treat their relatives or their mom or their grandmother or their father, my God, it's just, they don't care, you know, and it sucks because it really becomes cold. Like, people just want the money and the assets, and, you know, I mean, I'm sure you know all too well.
It's a nasty game. Not as nasty as divorce, but still pretty
up there.
Pretty high, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you, as a human, want to feel the humanity. Like, maybe because I don't treat my mama this way, I think they're like, you didn't change her diaper today?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening?
This is wrong.
Yeah, this is wrong.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, but what about my proceeds? I'm like, dude, we're not talking about that right now. Like, we have ethics.
You haven't even gotten the death certificate yet.
Yeah, dude.
Like, what's happening?
Like, you haven't even picked the casket. You're talking about the proceeds.
That's
like,
right.
this poor lady's in a fridge somewhere. What is going on? All right, well, we'll get back into the legal stuff, but I'm more interested. You're an Olympian, so we got to get into that.
Okay.
So, track and field, correct?
Yes.
Okay, hurdling.
Yes.
That's right. You see, I remember.
You're good.
I remember. You said hurdling wasn't jumping. It's like running.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you said, and I was like, oh, that's really interesting when she said that. I would run right through those barricades. There's no way I can hop them, but
You're just gonna keep using these like childish terms, and that's crazy. Hopping fences, running hurdles. Okay.
see that? I mean, you know, one thing I've learned about LaVonne is that she's very specific with language.
Yes.
It's like a pet peeve for you.
It became.
It
So
became.
like that's one of the things like I told people the worst thing that people could have done was send me to law school. Like, oh my gosh, y'all gave me way too much of a weapon.
She's like a word sorcerer.
That's right.
Yeah.
That and is crazy. You gotta. It's
It
a
is
war,
crazy.
baby.
Yeah, it is. There's all is fair.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. How'd you get to the Olympics? I mean, that's a hell of a accomplishment.
Wow. So I started running track in high school, went to college on a track scholarship. That's when I actually found out that you could like become a professional track athlete. We had a couple training with us, including Marion Jones trained at my university while I was there. So, you know, watching people become Olympic gold medalists, I thought that was pretty cool. At the time, I wasn't like great at anything though. So I did the heptathlon, which is 7 events, and you're going for score more than winning, which is like good for my personality type. I am very much more of a scientist than I am like a brute dummy. So I care less about winning, but I hate losing. So there's like a mental thing about that. So
It's an interesting dichotomy.
I moved to Florida after college to train, and my first foray with a coach was hilarious because I trained by myself. He was an Olympic silver medalist, and he told me I was too fat to be on his track, and so he made me run behind his car for a month. And then I lost enough weight to be track worthy.
Ah.
And then when I was on the track, every day I would be falling out. Mind you, at this point I had always been on really good track teams, but I always was like a really big contributor. So my coaches kind of let me get away with murder. So I never really worked hard before. So I get there, he cussing me out every day to the point that I think, well, most people assume that he was like my abusive boyfriend because they would see him like cussing me out and they would walk up and I'm like laying on the ground and they'd be like, it's okay, we think you're doing a great job. I'm like, I'm fine.
How'd you take that though? Did you take well to it, or you kind of just compartmentalized it?
It was important training for me because I had never even been yelled at before.
Oh.
Like my parents don't yell at me.
Oh, so that is good for you.
And so I got to learn how to receive criticism, even with cuss words, and like ignore the tone, ignore the words. Okay, what is he really trying to get me to do? And like decouple it and not become emotional about it. So I learned all of that from training with him that first year, and I got astronomically better. because he just held me to the standard of like greatness. He's like, yeah, you probably won some stuff before. Like, I don't care. You got the world record. Oh, okay, cool. So like, stop talking to me about nonsense.
That's humbling.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
And but he trained my mind well enough for me to go train in another group. Because had I went straight from college to training with the group that I ended up training with when I went to the Olympics, I wouldn't have made it, because I just was so used to being treated special and, you know, I might be a little late, you know, all of the things that are just like bad habits in general that you pick up. And so by the time I got there, I had a lot of discipline. I also knew I didn't want to do anything extra. So if you was late to that practice, he like make you run heels before the workout, which is like nuts. I'm like, bro, I'm barely making the workouts. So no, thank you. So, but he would like cuss, carry on, throw your hurdles off the track, including his wife's hurdles. So we already knew we didn't stand a chance.
Oh my God. How old was this guy?
So he's probably about 15 years older than me.
Okay.
And he also is an Olympic medalist. And like my whole group, all stars. And one of them went to college with me. So she and I actually did the Amazing Race together. So,
cool.
But getting there, that taught me how to train to be a champion. And I like got ranked much higher, got to travel a lot around the world. The thing that people don't really know about track, I guess, is that like we have a real season. We don't just train for the Olympics. So every year we'd be in Europe 8 months, running indoor, outdoor meets. And most of it is on TV. Like, it's a pretty popular sport in Europe. It's just not a popular sport in America. So there's like 2 or 3 meets that we would go to in America. Everything else would be overseas. And so I went to the World Championships the year before the Olympics, which was right before I started law school. So law school orientation, you know, they're giving the whole look to the left, look to the right speech. You know, somebody ain't gonna make it. And all I'm thinking is, if it's 30,000 of these, it ain't gonna not be me. The fuck?
You're like, dude, I'm training for the Olympics.
This
right
is
now,
not
bro.
rocket science, okay?
Yeah.
So, but they give that little scare you speech, and then I flew to Korea the next day and missed 2 weeks of school.
Oh,
so,
shit.
Yeah. I really have learned to be a little more humble in my life. But my general temperament is figure out how to do just enough. Because, like, school in general, I'm like, people who get A's are generally just have a good memory and they follow rules really well. But I'm not going to do anything extra. I'm just going to do what's required. And I'm going to probably read more books because I'm interested. But, yeah, the getting A's part didn't really matter. So, escaped. And then I went to the Olympics the next year after my first year at law school.
No kidding.
Yep.
So what's one thing you would say? One thing. You said training to be like a champion, or training like a champion. Mm-hmm. What's one thing that you would say gives you a champion mentality?
So it is going 100% even when you don't feel like it.
Which is discipline.
Yeah. So very much before I trained there, I went to practice every day because that's just like a part of your life. You go to practice. But there are some days when you don't feel good and you just like go through the motions. When you train a group of champions, somebody feels great, and their entire objective that day is to beat your ass, like, and make you look bad. Like, so you don't have the space or the opportunity to feel bad for yourself. You just kind of like, you kind of got to fight every day. Yeah. And we are training together, but we're competing against each other in real life for the money. So.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So we are.
So you guys are a team, but not a team.
We ain't no team.
You're a team in the sense of like, hey, we're all training in the same place, but I'm gonna whoop your ass when we get out there.
Exactly. And the best thing that I learned in that space is a person who has real confidence helps each other, right? So we all run the same race, but if I see you like dragging your foot out the blocks, I'd be a crab if I didn't say, bro, pick your toe up. Like, you're dragging it too much and it's making you go slow. Like, a crab would let you keep doing that because I could keep beating you in every
What's
rep.
a crab?
A crab, like, they're going to hold you down.
A crab, I like it.
So, but if you have real confidence, I'm going to tell you to fix it and still expect to beat you. Like, because I'm going to get better too. Mm-hmm. And so I trained with 6 girls. We all did the same event and we helped each other every day, and we all like had personal bests, made the team. It was great.
There's probably something to that.
Yeah.
That you guys are all
Iron
bringing
really
out
does
the
sharpen iron.
yeah. That's why
Who wants to be the king of the
dipshits.
pygmies? Yeah.
Call it the king of the dipshits.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
The king of the dinglings, huh? Yeah, everybody's it's funny. He told me something yesterday. He's like, yeah, there's some guys that I've noticed that are they think that they're in the ocean, but they're in a little fish bowl. They're the king of they're the biggest fish in a little fish bowl.
Yeah.
Right. That's very different.
And they try to avoid all leave the pond. Never.
Exactly. And dude, look, I did that in my career too. In South Florida, right? I became the biggest wholesaler, but I was like, no. It gets to a certain point. I'm very competitive, but then I got out, which was the biggest piece of my identity was the whole wholesaling thing, right? Because I was that guy for 6 years. And Jeremy and Josh know, we came up around the same time. And then I exited the wholesale space and started doing the RF and different things right now in commercial deals and stuff like that. I feel very out of water every day, which is great for a guy like me because I like a lot of challenge and I need stimulation. If I don't have it, bad things happen. I find stimulation somewhere else. And, next thing I know, I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? Right. Mm-hmm. But I think the awareness for that any champion, I have friends that are champions in a lot of athletics, and it's always that way. They're like, dude, I don't care, dude. You're just going to do it. Yeah. This is happening one way or another.
It's got to work or it's got to work.
Yeah, you got the flu. That's great. I mean, figure this shit out. There's a lot of Gatorade back there.
The worst thing ever I've learned, because I ended up needing a business coach to tell me that I needed to give people who work with me praise, because my internal way of being is weren't you paid to be here? You're supposed to come every day. You're supposed to come on time. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. You want me to say thank you and congratulations?
Yeah, good job.
I find that to be the same as giving medals to all the kids. I don't like participation trophies. I hate it. But I realized that the more I acknowledged their effort, the happier they got. So it was fine. But
she's like, it's so painful.
It is painful because I'm not even conscious of it because I was gonna be here every day anyway. So
you and I are the same in that regard, man. I mean, I've ran multiple teams, and I do agree there is something to morale. Yeah. You can't just be like, well, not everybody responds to that.
Yeah, I've been through several assistants because I have two pet peeves. One is I actually don't care about your process. And number two, just bring me the baby. I actually don't care about your pain, nor does anybody else. So whatever you went through to get the baby, don't give a fuck. Give me the baby, okay? So if you come back without the baby...
Now we got a problem.
Right. Because why are you even here?
Yeah.
You needed to be still. Don't tell me the process. I went to the place and this happened. Don't care.
Yeah. Did it get done?
Did it get done? Well,
yeah. People sell themselves on, and the community that I run, the higher level guys, the pro guys, they're paying more, so they pay more attention, which is a funny correlation. And those guys, man, I'm like, look, I tell them as soon as they come in, I say, I'll always be here for you. I'm your mentor. I'm here to help you. Yep. But I'm not going to give you a pat on the ass, okay, or a pat on the back, or a slap in the ass, or whatever the hell the expression is. You got a mom for that. If you don't, you got a dad for that. If you don't got either one, great. You should have a lot of motivation to be here. So, yeah, dude, don't give me that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I get it. Everybody has hard times. Yep. There's no such thing as a bad day. Yep. There's bad moments in a day. If you ruined an entire day over something, you fucking suck. Yeah. You didn't have enough wherewithal, and you got to train that. To get yourself back to, hey, this is a good day. This is just a bad moment, but this is a good day, right? And people play too many loops in their heads.
Yeah, I've had to train a lot of people out of the idea that effort matters. Hella people work hard. You know how hard it is to pick fruit? Oh my gosh. But you only get rewarded for outcomes. So I've always been in, as a matter of fact, I got a mortgage and a real estate license while I was in college because my father thinks he's the brain and that I'm Pinky and that we're gonna take over the world by my efforts or whatever. And so I've been in this eat what you kill mindset the whole time. Yeah. So as a matter of fact, when I first started, I haven't had a job since high school, or the first year of college, summer, and I only would take, even in high school or college, jobs that were hourly plus commission because I want the ability to control what I earn by eating what you kill. So, yeah, pay me less or nothing. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, just give me don't worry about it. I don't need shit.
I'm here for the outcomes.
Yeah.
That's actually the reason why I wasn't able to. I was offered jobs and I couldn't take them because I listened to their way of thinking, which was like, okay, we're going to pay you a salary and you're going to work like a Hebrew slave. You're going to use your whole brain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I make more money than this using none of my brain selling chinchilla furs and Coogee sweaters in the mall. So, like
that's a good Coogee sweaters. It's a throwback. They still have those? The Coogee sweater.
They got a new whole little line out.
Yeah, I saw that they kind of came out with like a BIG style line now.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope.
But why would I want to use my whole brain to make the same amount of money? That actually doesn't make sense. Just because the name on the moniker is more prestigious.
Monikers are a big thing, man. Look, it's crazy to me. And I had this conversation with Juan, my sales director, before he left to Europe. I said, Juan. He was frustrated about somebody. He's like, dude, doesn't he want to make like this money? I'm like, listen, let me sit you down for a second. I came to this realization years ago. I know it's going to shock you. Not everybody wants to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay? And a lot is a relative term.
Right.
A lot to him, a lot to you, a lot to me is very, very different. Okay? A lot to Bill Gates is very different. Right. You know? Not everybody cares about that shit. There are some people, most people care about the recognition that they get, the title. Right, how they feel, which is, hey, there's no right or wrong.
How they show up in the world to others.
Yes.
So that title, that moniker, is attached to value to other people.
CFA, CFP, that, and granted, you have to go through some hard shit to get those things. But again, dude, like I say to people, just because your title or a guy's title or a girl's title says ESQ at the end doesn't mean shit to me, because they could have been the last in their fucking graduating class at Harvard. Doesn't mean I want him as my attorney.
Right.
You know what I mean? There was a first and there was a last. Doesn't mean I want him, doing surgery on me.
Right.
But how do you show up in the marketplace? Because ultimately the degrees, there's people that I know, more degrees than a thermometer, don't do shit. They don't do shit, right? Because they don't have that oomph.
Yep.
They can't talk to people. They're like, oh, well, I'm really smart. And I'm like, yeah, but you can't close a door.
Yeah.
Like, what do I care? You can't speak to someone. What does it matter, all the knowledge that you have?
Right.
It's irrelevant in the marketplace. And I always say the marketplace is undefeated. It's never lost, so don't go against it.
That's right.
Just try to work with it. So you get to the Olympics. That's a 4-year journey, correct?
I mean,
Ish?
No, but between Olympics, there's 4 years.
Okay.
Let's say you are completely focused on it for 2 years.
What does completely focused mean? Like, what is that?
Meaning you the window to have a qualifying time is 2 years. The preparation and the tapering the way that you are taking races or training, 2 years.
Okay. It's a long time.
So it's 1 month of the most fun ever.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So we were in London. I went to the Olympics in 2012, and I mean, the worst thing you could ever do is put me in a place where I can communicate with everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm having an amazing time. We're going to the club. Yes. Eat. Yes.
Anything.
Beach house. Definitely. So just all around the city, having a really good time. My actual roommate at the time was a British athlete, so she was like, "Oh, we going over here. We got this and that." So
you got the plug.
Just had plug, right? And so, and my best cousin came with me, and
that's cool.
So yeah, we was hanging out. We gonna hang out with the basketball team this week, and then we're gonna hang out with the swimmers, and then we're gonna go see tennis, and we had an amazing time. I didn't spend any time with nobody who ran track, but that's just because I already knew them. Track is a small community. We all know each other. Yeah. So let's go meet other people and eat McDonald's every day because that's in the CAF.
In the CAF?
Yeah.
Oh, they staff you guys with McDonald's. That makes sense.
Yeah. Whoever is a sponsor. It was hilarious because I was getting something mailed to me, and I don't remember which one isn't a sponsor, so don't quote me on this. So either FedEx or UPS is a sponsor. Obviously, they mailed me something from the opposite one. They won't let it get delivered.
Oh, wow.
So you have to go pick it up across town.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah.
London's a big town, too.
Plus, it's plus we also get Prop 50. Prop 50 means that for the 50 days surrounding the Olympics, so some days before and some days after, you can't promote any Olympic sponsors.
Oh.
So if you're sponsored by a company that's not an Olympic sponsor, you can't wear it, promote it on social media, nothing, which I think is completely biased to the fact that, like, the Olympics doesn't pay us. Those people do.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's kind of like NCAA. Now that's changed. That's good. So how do you feel about athletes in that? I mean, with the whole NCAA thing, now things have obviously changed.
Mm-hmm.
They've gone in a different direction. These kids are finally getting paid, which I have my own opinions on it. I think it's a double-edged sword. I think it's great because they were like slaves, right? These guys they're making billions off of these people,
right.
And then they're barely having money to eat and stuff. But at the same token, I think for young kids getting all that money, now it kind of takes away from the sport, but it's also a big-ass distraction for a 19-year-old making $50,000 a month.
Right. And $50,000 would be on the low end. So
yeah, exactly.
It's very much a double-edged sword, because if you've ever given an 18-year-old a loaded gun and you didn't teach him how to shoot it, you get what you get from that, right? And so I think that, especially it being completely, like, taking a lot of the original rules away also is hurting the sport to a point, or hurting sports to a point, because if you could just hop in a portal, I ain't listening to that coach. I don't like him no more. I'm out of here. Right? You can hop in a portal. You can also go and develop before you go to college, and it doesn't count anymore. So you can go to junior college for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it don't matter. And then you can go to university and still have 4 years eligibility. Now you're going to see way more 26-and-a-half-year-olds competing against my poor little babies that are 18, coming straight out of high school, barely got defined muscles.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's a problem.
That's a grown-up.
Yeah, no, that's an adult. Like that's somebody that could be in the league.
Don't let him run through the middle.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So
it's a problem.
That I think is going to be something that needs to be looked at a little bit more. And I also think that now that the rules are allowing the universities to pay them and to be a little more involved, it'll help some, because being completely hands off, like, good luck. Hope you didn't get screwed in whatever you signed. I think is a terrible way of being, especially because these kids also represent your university. So I remember when I came out of grad school, we were hiring somebody, and she came and she was all like, yeah, I got an MBA from this place. And then, like, I had her do a writing sample for something, and I had her do some task, and I was kind of like, throw away all of the resumes from that school. Yeah, we're done. She is finished.
This is shit. We're not doing it.
That's right. Yeah. If you got a degree from there, obviously they don't care. It's about nothing.
Bye-bye. So, yeah, man, look, at the end of the day, it's a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Like, it really is.
Everything attached to a thing influences the other things attached to it, right?
Agreed.
So, like, the people who you have representing your organization are a reflection of you. So, yeah, letting them sign those little 360 deals where they was, like, selling some of their equity, it was nuts.
Yeah, it's well, we'll see how it pans out. I mean, it's
I hope they start putting money in trust for them, so that
there should be guidance.
They can protect themselves from themselves.
Yeah.
18 to 25 years old, your desires change so much. So the amount that you would have there is a certain amount of money that if you earn it, you should be able to just fuck it off. I'm just saying, just because it's yours, and you cannot bypass the stage of getting things you've always desired.
Yeah.
You're either like going to do it now, or you're going to put it off and do it way too much.
Yeah, you're going to have that midlife thing.
Yeah. So I think that it just needs some soothing, some guardrails.
Yeah. No, there needs to be some guidance. It's like pro athletes too, man. Yeah. Like they get into what'd you do with your money? Oh, I bought like 20 car washes. My cousin said it was a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a stupid investment. Nobody was there.
Yeah.
But
like it's such a hard thing, because I watch the two extremes happen with athletes specifically, where it's like either, they're completely free and they're like doing whatever, or there's like somebody trying to be like their parent and like completely overguarding them. And I'm kind of like, you do realize that you work for them and that it's their money. And if they want to light the shit on fire, as long as they ain't came to you for a
signature.
No, not a signature. As long as they haven't come to you for like a loan or help, then what other people do with their money ain't your business. And like that's my entire way of thinking about everything. When people ask me all the time about accredited investors and how I feel about it, I said, well, I understand the premise. Because at the end of the day, this country operates on a system that won't let people just be broke. So, it's a good point. If you invest all your money and lose all your money and then now you're on Social Security, we have to care about that because we're going to have to pay for you to like survive. So there has to be regulations that protect you from yourself and the fact that you don't know nothing about the things that you're trying to be involved in. And you don't have like the ability to lose and move forward, right? So
that's a key point.
Yeah.
The ability to move or to lose and move forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything that I have ever done with people that like even in the space of investing, whether it's in real estate or private equity, venture capital, any of it, I always lead with, if you lost all this money, will it change your life? Will it affect your happiness? Will it affect your peace? You need to go into everything and assess the risks based on those three factors.
Correct. Yeah. And can you bounce back?
Yeah.
If it does. First of all, you shouldn't be doing an investment if it's like, hey, this $1 million is everything I have.
Yeah.
And I've earned it over the last 8 years and it's everything I have. That's probably not a good investment. Maybe 10% of it is, but not all.
That's a lot of people don't look at it from the standpoint that it deserves, which is like that's maximum level trust. Like you love that person and you like trust them with your life. And if you're saying that, because that's what you're really saying when you give them the last of your money, like I don't actually trust anybody but myself in that way. 10%, 5%, 2%, whatever. As long as you got a little track record, I'm probably cool with it. But
yeah,
the whole try things with my money, I'm not really into it. And then anything that would affect my peace and or my bills is we're cool on it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I mean, it's a 1 in a million shot too. That like an Amazon or whatever, an Uber, those are hyper speculative things. But I really only invest in things that I understand. Yeah. That's limited me on my investment, but not really. Yeah. Because the more I understand, like real estate for me, dude, a real estate deal is a real estate deal. Now, how complex it is, yes, they could get really complex. Yeah. But, making the pivot into commercial now and like development, that kind of stuff, I'm really doing the same thing. But again, I say to any young guys and girls that are following this, I have an 8-year foundation of 800 plus transactions as the bedrock of where I'm going into that on. Although it might be my first development deal, I understand the deal. I know the location. I know the comps. I know the construction costs. I know the operator. I know the investment. I know the GP, the LP, right? And maybe some cool little cute language that people use, which is not normal in my world, but I do come from a finance background where I'm like, okay, so the GP is getting 95%, the LP gets 5%. Oh, there's a waterfall. Okay, well, what's that? Tell me about that. Well, what's the promote? And what's the subscription agreement? And what happens if shit hits the fan? And who's this and who's that? And, is there a capital call? Those are nuances, but I get the investment. Yep. It's 10 townhomes in East Boca or 20 or whatever it is. Right. This looks like a deal. What's land trading at? Oh, it's trading at 2.5. We bought it for 2. Right. We're good. There's equity in that deal. God forbid. Right. Right. But I have that background to do it. Where people come in and they're like, oh, no, I'm going to get right into this. I'm like, whew, you better hope that who you're doing it with is going to do right by you. Yeah. And that's how I believe that most people should be investing, which is like, what do you already know? Yeah. What do you do really well? And like, let's lead with being involved with things that you can evaluate on your own. Because at the end of the day, people know suckers.
real well. And so, and a
Sad
sucker
but
doesn't
true.
mean you're a sucker in all things. It means that you're a sucker in the moment. So, the people who make a lot of money doing things begin to believe they just have the Midas touch. So, like, anything I do is gonna be fly. Okay.
No.
But the worst place to be is at the mercy of whether someone is a good or a bad person or a steward of your money. And you don't know because you're just like living out on faith. Like, oh, the person they doing something fly, they doing this and that. And I'm like, if you don't understand it, you don't know if they're lying to you or not.
Yep.
Because there's never been a time in the history of business plans or projections where somebody said they were going to fail in the plane.
Yeah. I swear, I think this plane's gonna fly just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did you test the engine? Not yet, but this is the test flight, and
That's right.
everyone's on it. Yeah. Look, from my perspective, I don't know if you're a true entrepreneur that you've built your wealth the first time. Not that you can't do it as a second or third or fourth generation, but you understand that from a different perspective, and you get people.
Yeah.
And a good mentor of mine always says, I don't bet on the horse, I bet on the jockey.
Yeah.
Is very, very, if you actually read into that, that is very true.
Yes.
Because I always get into deals now, like with Jeremy and Josh, if they were to call me on a deal, I'd be like, okay,
Yeah.
I know both jockeys, and I know this shit's probably not going to go sideways.
Yeah.
You know?
And even if it goes sideways, what are they going to do?
The right thing.
So the most important thing for me is I'm temperature testing jockeys
Yes.
because things
That's good.
happen in business
All the
and
time.
real estate and things. How do you act when you get angry? How do you act when the deal is going a little weird? How do you act when you're under pressure and it's going too long and this and that? Are you going to shoot us? Like, and yourself? Like, we need to know these things, okay?
Yeah, we
So
need to
you
know.
got to temperature test the people that you're investing with because everything is sweet when things are sweet, but most things ain't going to be sweet forever.
No.
So,
Yeah. No,
all
you can.
partnerships need temperature testing.
Oh yeah, you can. I would say too. Like I've had bad partnerships. I've had great partnerships. I've had some really bad ones that have ended up in some nice legal battles, which is yay fun. You should date for a little while. You should really date for a little while.
Yep.
It's one thing to do a JV with somebody, a joint venture. It's a whole other thing to be like, all right, let's establish this entire business together. Now we're married, and it's
Yeah.
like, maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you don't like what he does with the toothbrush or
Right.
what she does with the toothbrush. Like, you don't even know these things, right?
Right.
And you're just like, boom, let's buy a house and let's do the whole thing. No, man, it's got to be, and show me your track record. Trust but verify. What have you done? And no offense, I get it. Maybe you're newer, but what have you done?
Right.
Like, why
Show
are you?
me your resilience in something else. If you ain't done it yet, okay, cool.
Exactly.
I learned the hard way about the dating. So I knew people, I knew them from some other place though.
Sure.
And so when I first decided that I wanted to own I don't know how to do like regular things. So like every time I make a goal, it's got to be like something like I have to be the best at this thing.
Extraordinary.
Right? So I'm like, I want to own the most multifamily units in the South. And the number's 33,000 units. So now I'm going on this like rampage of what I'm trying to buy. So the first building I buy with partners who are all in the mortgage industry. So I know they got some money. We just came off a little, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
now they all verbally are saying, I care about the community. I want to be involved with affordable housing, this and that.
Oh, here we go.
Until palm trees cost $1,000. Those people don't need $1,000 trees. Oh, those people now.
What do you mean, those people?
Yeah. So it no longer went to like, oh, everybody deserves a nice place to live when it takes away from the bottom line, even if it's a temporary takeaway, because at the end of the day, affordable housing makes money. It's just everything makes money. It's measuring the impact that makes it more important to me to be in affordable housing than some other things. But it's not that I wouldn't be in luxury housing if I got a good enough deal. I'm about the deal. I'm not about to throw fisticuffs with no public company to get a luxury apartment that gives 3% returns.
No, and that's why too. Like I urge people to look. What stage of the journey are you on? Everybody's on a different stage of their journey. By the way, there's a lot of people that are on different journeys. Right? They're like it's not even about the stage; it's about the journey.
Yeah.
Sometimes you may partner with someone or get involved as an investor, whatever it is, right? You didn't even ask the simplest question, which is like, where are you going?
Yeah.
Like, where are you going?
Did you just hop in the car with somebody who's going a different direction?
Yeah. You're like, where are you? Like, you're hitchhiking through business. And I'm like, where are they going?
Yeah.
Like, you don't, no, but it's a great deal. I'm like, but where are they going?
Yeah.
Are they going to cash out, refi it? Are they stabilizing? Are they trying to do some ninja shit with zoning and rezoning? Like, you don't even know about that.
Right.
You don't even know what an architect is. Like, where are they going to flip it? Are they going to wholesale it? Like, what are they doing? Are they entitling it? Right?
Yeah.
Like, there's all these things. It's like, nah, they just told me it was a sick deal. I'm like, but what defines sick? Because you don't even know what that is.
How long are y'all going to be married?
This is a 24-month lock?
Right.
No, they say we could be in and out in 12. I'm like, bullshit.
Right.
Bullshit. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
The building what in 12?
Right.
Like, who? Where? You know, so it's different.
Yeah, I also like, so that's a super important point because I talk all the time about how, like, I don't know how to do anything without a big vision, but I also understand that I'm also in a phase in my life that like spending time with my kids and my soon-to-be husband and all of that. So I'm not on a Elon Musk trying to work 22 hours to get to $1 billion in the end of the year. I'm just not.
Yeah.
And some people are, but like you'll frustrate the shit out of each other if y'all are partners because
100%.
They're like, why you keep taking trips?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm really just trying to
Enjoy myself.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be stressed out for the rest of my life. I did 20 the hard way. I'm kind of cool on it now. I like my passive income. I want to build a business reasonably.
Yeah.
I would like to take something I'd like to be a part of a public entity at some point. But other than that, most of the stuff I'm doing is for the academic of it. The like, I have a real problem with once I learn about something, I have to like go all the way. I have to know it deeply and like try it and all of that. So I've owned a bunch of random things.
Like what?
I owned a PR firm. I owned a video game.
A video game.
I owned a spa on the beach in Fort Lauderdale. I lost the most money there. I've owned a bunch of different random types of real estate. And mostly I know that I enjoy service businesses because it just doesn't have a lot of overhead and stuff like that as pertaining to like inventory and that kind of stuff. I kind of started a little hair care brand when I was pregnant with my baby. That was like home boredom.
Better than something else, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. But I enjoy probably the most the mortgage company and private credit fund. And yeah, everything else has been sort of a, this is fun. I want to learn how this works. I literally bought that video game so that I could learn about putting ads in games and putting music in games. Because at the time, I also owned the PR firm that worked with a bunch of musicians. So I'm like, all right, what is the licensing process like? How do I get on platform? What do you use to put the ads in? Because, yeah, I want to know from the inside because people going to lie to you. You don't know enough.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're not an expert or you don't have an expert in the room, be very weary of that room.
Yeah.
You will get fucked.
Oh, yeah, they're just going to start saying anything.
Yeah, and everything sounds great, you know, because normally people don't want to sound wrong or like they're dumb. So people are like, oh, okay, no, that makes sense. And it's like, you have no idea what you're agreeing to. Yeah. I just told you it's a 2-cap, and you said, yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah. It's like 2-caps suck.
That's right. I'm gonna tell you, it's it's 100% return. I'm just not gonna tell you when.
Yeah. Yeah. And people are like, oh yeah, that's great. Double your money. And I'm like, yeah, but in 10 years.
Yeah.
Who wants to do that? Like, what? Like, come on, man. But it's basic stuff. So you deal a lot with wealthy individuals. And going back to the beginning, the structure, asset protection, asset preservation, which are two different things. What are some key things? Let me ask this a different way. What do you see that wealthy people do differently than poor people, let's say?
One, wealthy people tend to have grown wealth in a specific thing, and they stay very close to their core competency, and anything that's not their core, they're going to do with like friends. not strangers, but like, all right, boom. So you do this well. Tell me, come with me to this meeting and tell me if they bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's one. And then the other thing is they focus a lot on like skill building and personal development. Like everything is like, I need to know more. I need to be getting better. I need to, you know, it's so much less downtime and, you know, chilling than like most people would expect when a person has $100 million or $500 million that they like chill a lot and like sit on the beach in Tahiti, and they're like, I'd shoot myself if I did that for more than 10 days.
I'm very much that way. Yeah. You know, when Savannah and I got together and a couple years into it, she said, you know, how much is enough? And I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't in it for the enough.
Yeah.
I was in it for the game. I'm still in it for the game. I love the game.
Yeah.
You know, it's and when you plateau at something, I just
pick a new game.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, well, what's the? Oh yeah, I conquered this residential. Okay, good. Boop. There's a whole nother world out
level
there.
Level 2.
Yeah, level 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dude, when I got into education, like the content and like this kind of stuff, I remember very distinctly. Like, keep in mind, I was at the top of my game on the resi wholesale fix and flip side.
Yep.
Like I was the guy in my specific marketplace.
Right.
I get into education, and it was a humbling feeling because I went to the bottom of the totem pole. 1,000 followers, nobody was there. Like, no one showed up to the lives. And I'm like, yo, these people know how many deals I've done? And it's like, nobody gives a shit because this is not your game.
Yeah.
So and it forced me like, all right, cool. I got to pay my dues all over again, which reignited the true entrepreneur in me, which was the building phase, the beginning. And like, oh, I'm going to tinker with this. I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
Oh, this and that. And I'm going to put in the hard work. And that led to, you know, more of that. And then eventually, you know, you start to become like, oh, okay, I'm a little bit relevant now, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of relates because once you've done it once in any sector, now I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Like now I'm getting deals consistently. Like I got it. Now we're getting views, and now we're getting this, and now the funnel's working, and then, you know, it's scale from there, right? But so wealthy people, they think about, I would assume that they think about way beyond the average time horizon.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Even if the thing that they're doing at the moment is like, all right, boom, I bought this company, I'm going to do this to it, I'm going to sell it in 3 years, whatever. That's just a cog in the actual vision of like what their intent is. I also think that the biggest difference that I see in even like small business owners who are very successful and like people who I deal with in the family office space is they're saying the exact opposite thing, which is like small business people are like, don't work with your family, don't work with your friends, don't do that, right? And all of the family offices is like, what? Make your son go to Harvard. Who gives a fuck what they want to be? Like, and never sell the company, right? So
that's good.
We can roll this into this, you know, you can take it public, a little piece. Because most people think when you take something public, you're selling all of the business, but you're really selling a very small amount to the public markets to create value for the stuff that you hold. And so dealing with families that are like on the 6th generation that like, and they have new problems because like your cousins at the Gen 6 don't really know each other. Like they've been forced to be around each other, but like our grandmas was cousins, bro. Like we are not related for real.
I know what you mean when you say Gen 6, but a lot of the people probably, and I know because I learned it the hard way, and I felt so ignorant in that moment. But I remember hearing Patrick Bet-David talk about this too, where he's like G6 and G4 and G3. Honestly, I thought they were talking about planes.
Okay.
And that was my best guess. And then I was like, I just kept quiet. I was like, wow, this is a lot of wealth going on here. But Gen 6, what does that mean? Or Gen 4, Gen 5?
Yeah, so first generation is the person who makes the money. Gen 2 would be their children. Gen 3 would be their grandchildren. Gen 4 would be great-grandchildren. 5, great-greats. Great-great-greats. So if you know how that math really works is you have 2 grandparents, or you have 4 grandparents, you have 8 great-grandparents. So this is getting wide, right? Like how many people can be involved? But most of them look at the talent of their family as their biggest asset. So you got to go to college. You got to learn. You got to bring more skills. the audacity of us not to be incorporating AI when you got all of these 20-year-olds. You know what I'm saying? So like they're literally thinking, utilize your talent to increase the entire family's capacity.
It sounds like a professional sports team.
Yes.
It sounds just like that. Sounds like a franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it.
It is. And for the most part, the funniest thing, I was talking to a guy, and he's probably got like 6 or 7 kids, right? And I said, you know, how did you get your kids to get on board and be a part of the business, this and that, or like, you know, build with you? He's like, oh, you just gotta have a lot of kids because most of them suck.
Yeah, I mean, hey, play the numbers, you know?
Yeah, play the numbers.
Yeah.
He's like, you only have 1 kid, you're tripping.
You're tripping. Better be a
You're
gem.
betting too hard.
Yeah. It's like one number. No, split the quadrants, man. What are you doing? Play around the field.
That's right.
Red and black is too difficult, you know? That's interesting. So what do you normally see? What's like the average net worth of these individuals you're working with, or like the family?
So I'm generally working with what you would consider to be like new money. So
Okay.
they're athletes, entertainers, people have sold companies, but they're mostly first gen.
So like a me.
Yeah,
Right.
but like I tell them I don't really like it when they call themselves first gen, if that makes sense. So like we are all standing on the backs of some hard work, even if it
Yeah.
wasn't wealth building, you know what I'm saying, of others.
Yeah.
And so when you call yourself first gen and your parents is in the room, they're kind of like, so fuck me?
So I'm a piece of shit.
Right.
We're going to talk about this later. I don't give a shit how much money you have. We're going to talk about this later.
You know? So let's say they are the first major contributor of large lump sums to the family's wealth.
Sure.
Right? All right. And
It's a better way to look
they're
at it.
generally what the IRS calls qualified clients. So they have $5 million of net worth. Net worth can be a very fugazi ass number. So I say liquid net worth because investable assets.
Big difference.
Yes.
Yeah. Cash
Yeah.
and assets.
I have $5 million of accounts receivable too. That shit is worth toilet paper if you don't collect it.
If you don't know what you're doing, it's worth nothing. And remember, it might be worth something to you, but the real question is it worth something to someone else?
That's right.
And what is it worth? Because your valuation and the person's valuation, if they're different.
Exactly.
You
Which
gotta
is
do some
why
thinking.
private company stock is worth something to you, depends what it's worth in the marketplace and all that. And that's why millions of people go get MBAs and whatnot. But family office, sort of like very small virtual family office is what people are building for the most part now if they have like $10 million in net worth. But if you wanted to be like, I only want people to focus on me and my family because we need all the focus, the number's probably like 60 million, something like that.
And what does that setup look like?
So think about all of the services that you could possibly ever need as a family
Okay.
and employ them all in one house.
So like healthcare.
You might have a concierge doctor on staff. You might have a concierge person who makes sure that you have flights and reservations and that kind of stuff on staff. But you call them more like a family manager. But you're also going to have your own full-time accountant. You're going to have a strategist. You're going to have an analyst. You're going to have a due diligence person. You're going to have... So everybody that works for Goldman...
And your team.
Just on your team. Yeah. So that's what a single family office does. And a multi-family office does that for more than one family. So they're using the same level of resources, but being able to share the cost. So instead of it costing you $5 million a year, it'll cost you $250 a year because you're sharing it with 10 other families.
And how do those families play with one another?
They don't have to.
Okay.
So
Because I would
they're-
imagine that might be a little difficult.
Yeah, no, they generally, most of the time they don't even know each other. So and that's become the trickiness now because I meet a lot of people and they'll be like, we're a family office. And I'm like, oh, what families? And then they'll be like, I do taxes. And I'm like, you're a service provider for rich people. That's different.
Yeah. Very.
But once you build it up and you have family monies there, it becomes a family office. But most people are like selling the family office dream because it's really popular at the moment.
Yeah.
And
Like a fractional family office now.
yeah,
The
that's
hot tickets.
called a service provider, a vendor, if you will. Yeah,
Yeah, like a floating COO.
yeah, yeah,
Well, you're a vendor.
yeah, it's fine.
You're not here, you're a consultant. Really. You're not here full time, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, all of these things have their own level of definition, and the SEC and FINRA and all of that kind of stuff. So the best thing about being a family office and investing your own money is super unregulated. You are allowed
like
to fuck
that.
yourself up.
I like that. Well, it's assumed that you know the risk and you have money. And that's it.
Yeah, those are bad assumptions, but it's still the assumption.
Very bad assumptions.
Oh, of course.
Because people make stupid decisions.
I
at all
know a
levels.
bunch of people with $100 million who don't know anything about the investments they make. They're kind of like, I heard that I should be in, what is the thing called? Squibbity toilets or something like
Squibbity toilets. Squibbity toilets.
some kind of a
There's your real
meme coin.
Bam. Podcast about squibbity toilets. That's what it's gonna be. People are gonna be like, "What the fuck is Will doing?" And what happened to him? And this RF thing went downhill real quick. Now we're in squibbity toilets.
I'm telling you.
Mark that down and trademark it, please. Squibbity toilets are us. All right. Okay. So, what is an accredited investor for people that don't know?
Okay, so they have really expanded this list to be pretty expansive, but the general definition that people know is you make $200,000 a year for the last 2 years with an expectation of making it in the future, or you as a couple make $300,000 a year for the last 2 years with the expectation of continuing, or you have $1 million net worth, which is not liquid. It's just $1 million net worth. Get you some $1 million on paper, guys, because the whole world opens up to you when you can reach that threshold. But there are other ways to become an accredited investor. If you have a series license, 763, that kind of thing, you are considered an accredited investor. You had to take hella tests. You should know something about investments.
I had my 7.
Sophisticated investors also count, but the one that most people underestimate that they don't realize that they should do is be an issuer. Issuers are automatically accredited investors. So
What's an issuer?
An issuer is the person who sets up the fund, the syndication, the capital raise. There's an assumption that if you know enough to get to the point that you've done this, that you should be able to.
It's a pretty good assumption. Again, assumptions are awesome until they're not.
Yeah, because the whole world, the internet's people have been grouping people and teaching them that they should be syndicators and teaching them that they should be doing things and this and that. So there are way more people who are much less sophisticated learning about these products and then just going and doing them sometimes there's been good. I mean, you could have been Stevie Wonder and hit it out of the park with multifamily since 2015. So it's from 2015 to 2022, you pretty much.
Oh, believe me. Yeah. When I saw guys in the residential and in any kind of real estate get in from 2020 to 2022, my God, you look like King Midas and all his folks.
That's right.
And then 2022 midsummer hit, and interest rates went back to normal and beyond. Holy shit! You have never seen a Chinese fire drill the way that I saw the Chinese fire drill in the real estate space. Because everyone was, man, you got to figure, I was wholesaling a lot back then. People were buying properties from me, and I would ARV, right? After repair value, I'd peg a value of $400,000 at the time. Let's say this is January, and by March, April, $450.
Yep.
Real. So now you're a new rehabber.
Yep.
You came in there. Not only are you making 60 on the deal, now you're making 110 because the marketplace said, "Here you go," and just patted you on the ass. But you think, wow,
I'm the man.
I missed my calling in life. I'm this guy. I created fire every day. And you know what happens? You believe that shit. And all of a sudden, when properties start, I remember fixing and flipping, and Jeremy and Josh will tell you, prior to COVID, And you would have a property sit on the market for 30 days. That was normal.
Yeah.
That was okay. Now these guys are used to 30 offers in 1 hour above ask, waiving appraisal contingencies. They're like, oh, yeah, if it's not 10K above ask, I'm not even going to look at it. I'm like, brother, that ain't a normal market. That's not normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The prosperity pumping
that's a good one.
creates a lot of false egos. And what ends up happening is they really get in their bag. So now they are raising a lot of money and all of this. And now you're like, oh, none of this pencils. The economy's terrible. It's just how it actually works.
Yeah.
You have to create your own deals. What you thought was normal is not the case. And it's so funny because I remember getting on a bunch of, like, I speak at a bunch of conferences and they'll be like, you know, what do you think about interest rates, this and that? And I was like, well, I started in this business in 2007 and interest rates were like 6.5, 7. I'd say it's actually regular.
Yeah. Seems pretty good to me.
Don't ask for the blessing and then call that the norm.
I think it's a really asinine question because I get it a lot on the real estate side where I'll get a variation of that question or this one, which is a personal favorite of mine, of stupidity. Where do you think the market is going?
If you think I know that, I wouldn't tell you.
Listen,
anyway.
look, I'm actually gonna change my hat for this one. If I knew the answer to that question, my jet would be parked right next to Warren Buffett.
Hello?
Okay? So, no, I don't fucking know it, and stop asking me it. I know where I'm going in said marketplace, which is to find deals.
Yeah.
Because in an up market, in a down market, in a sideways market, diagonal market, guess what? There's winners and there's losers. No matter what. In 07, 08, I've had mentors that went through 07, 08. Dude, they never made more money than from 08 to 2012.
Right.
I mean, houses were a gift.
Free.
Properties were a gift, right? Do you think they were worried about the 6, 7, 8% interest?
If it's 15 and I can close the day, put me down. I take 2.
Bam. Yeah, I'll take 2 with her. 100%. We'll figure out a way to buy 20.
Listen.
100%.
You want to buy when nobody else can. That's the biggest thing is being the king of the scared people, right?
That's right. Which is what we did during COVID.
The worst thing that I think anybody could ever begin to believe about themselves is someone knows the future. I used to want a PhD in economics until I realized that real business people think economists are fucking nuts.
They are. They're bullshit. That's just like this whole conversation. You know, I come from a finance background. I have a finance degree, and I worked at Merrill. I was in commodities on Wall Street. Learned a ton of great stuff there. I mean, really brilliant people. You know, you have people there that are like quants.
Yes.
That you shit your pants. They could do calculus in their head.
Yep.
And I'm looking at them, I'm like, brother, I got a Bloomberg terminal for that shit. But God bless you for having the ability and being born in China to be able to do that. Okay? God bless your heart. And this is not racism. This is just, it's a fact.
Yeah.
He was Chinese. And, or Indian. Either way, that's where it goes. Nonetheless, we're uncensored here. The point is that, where was I going with that? The point is, now I stumped myself because now I'm going to be thinking about this. Damn, this is going to be a real, somebody's going to. But
the funny thing that I say about that, I listen to all those people and they pontificate and they're like the alpha and the beta and the gamma and the this and the that and I've calculated 75 times. I'm like, okay, great. So what is your fund returned over the last 10 years? 9.5%. Get the fuck out of my face. Like, you did all that math for that?
Yeah.
You could flip water on the corner.
S&P could have done that, boy.
You could have flipped water on the corner.
Yeah, 100%. Shit. You could have fucking flipped ice in the Antarctic and you would have done better.
Hey.
9.5% is S&P, dude. Like, that's nothing.
You doing hella math, being super smart to get regular returns is nuts.
That's why, man, like, where I was going with that now, I remember. But Jerome Powell, like, this whole conversation with the Fed and da-da-da-da. And look, if you are in real estate or if you're in business as a whole, I think you should pay attention to the 10-year bill and you should pay attention to interest rates. Yes, this is true. You should at least have an idea. Don't become an economist, but have an idea.
Yeah.
Especially being in real estate like me. But at the end of the day, dude, if the guy raises or if he drops or if he holds, you got to make moves in the marketplace anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people don't understand that. It's like, oh man, of course, yes. At some point, he's gonna have to drop. It makes sense because he knows he's at the end of the line. But also, there's inflation and it's very complex. But even he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He's looking at data retroactively, and he's, you know, again, that system to me is set up completely incorrectly.
Of course, because we also still have to say, you know, past performance ain't got shit to do with the future and all of the things. So we don't actually believe this either. So
like, come on. and if we know anything about the government, which is why I tell people, they're like, oh, well, the Fed. And I'm like, dude, listen. Let me break it down to you like this. The government has one mode of operation, and it is extreme left or extreme right. Let me explain my point. 07, 08. Pendulum went this way. A dead person could get a mortgage. Right?
Yes.
09. Pendulum went the opposite direction. Now you needed an unborn child and their freaking blood forever to get a mortgage.
Yes.
And then it went, COVID hits, 0% interest rates. We're going to flood the market. And then what did, oh shit. This is way too, oh shit. Now they caused a bunch of other problems. And it's not just them, it's a lot of other things. The chain, supply chain, and then it went, and they said, well, let's raise rates at the fastest rate we've ever done, the rate of acceleration. And now people are like, oh my God, this is fucking terrible. And interest rates are at 6%. You talk to a guy that went through the 80s with Reagan, and they're like, bro, I bought my first house at 15%.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?
Exactly.
It's all relative, but people get so hung up. Hard money's the same thing. I know you're in that too. Hard money, private money, whatever. But people are like, bro, you're paying 12% for hard money? I'm like, yeah, let me break it down to you. 12% annualized. That's 1% a month. I hold the project for 4 months. How much interest did I pay? Ding, ding, ding to the man in the black hat. 4%. Done.
Exactly.
End of story.
Which is what I try to explain to people, because they're all like, you don't think that's a little high of a rate? I was like, I don't want you to keep my money all year. Actually.
That's a problem if you do. Because then we have to have a different conversation.
Hello? Why are you flipping so slow? What you got going on? And don't take
You got
on
caught
flips.
by the city. That's what happened.
Yeah, don't take on flips that'll be on your capacity. I remember
Yes.
I did a mortgage for a friend of mine, and she likes to do life on hard mode. So instead of doing a first regular flip, she's like, oh, I'm gonna add a floor. I was like,
You out of your mind.
2 extensions later. It
You
works
learned
out.
some lessons on
Right,
that.
it works out, but it only works out because you have real money. So you can float the extensions and all the things. You're not like a traditional, I'm just trying to figure it out. I went to a hard money lender so I could get the deal. If you were anybody else, you'd have lost all your money.
Yeah, it'd have been foreclosure. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
I buy them all the time. Look, the development deal that we bought in Delray Beach, super nice seller, nice guy. He was a developer. He wanted to be a developer. Ask him where he ended up. 9 days prior to auction, sells to us for nothing. And then we tied him into the back end of the deal because we're not pieces of shit. But again, dude, this is a guy that couldn't raise the LP funds.
Yeah.
It was $1.8 million. I mean, it's really not, we're not talking about rocket science here.
Yeah.
But he got in over his head. And that was his first project.
But most people underestimate what it takes to raise your first money if people have never invested with you. And they're like, I talked to my 6 friends and I posted it on Facebook. People don't fucking like me. And I'm like, okay.
First of all your friends are probably broke.
Right.
Just like you. Like, that's okay.
Right.
You got to get some new friends. That's a different conversation.
Where are you hanging out? Who are you talking to? How are you presenting this opportunity, which is a reframe that most people need?
Yeah.
Because they're like, I hate asking for things. Well, you're not asking. At the end of the day, people don't know how to make money with money. So if you can provide them with a solution that makes their money make money without them having to show up and or do anything, you're providing something for them that they couldn't do for themselves. So you're not asking, you're giving an opportunity. And so when you reframe that to yourself, you can say it in a different way.
Yep.
You're not like, I was just thinking, and I was wondering, can we get on a phone call?
Yeah,
and I would love to buy you some coffee.
Yeah.
And nobody who has money wants your coffee. And so
Especially the shitty coffee. Yeah.
like no one wants to have their brain picked, by the way.
Thank
like
you.
Just stop saying that.
Thank you. That's if I had my button right here, that you know what I always say, LaVonne, you should pick your nose, not my brain. That's what I always say. That is my biggest pet peeve ever.
Why do people even think that that's like an attractive thing to say.
Because they're ignorant, and they heard somebody say it one time, who's a dipshit, by the way, and now they look like a dipshit. And I actually stop guys, like young guys, because I do want to help them. When they say that shit, I'm like, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know you. It's okay. It's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. Don't ever say that shit again. Right. Not to me and not to anybody else, because you're going to bomb yourself before even having an opportunity. And maybe you do have a great deal, but you fucked yourself by saying what you said, because what you just said was, let me take all your shit and not give you any shit for it.
Right.
That's what you just said. Now, and they're like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay.
Yep.
Let's move on. Just don't say that shit again.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that's terrible, and if this is you, don't be this person. So I speak at a bunch of conferences, and then when you get off stage, you get bombarded. Mm-hmm. And then when you sit down, someone who's a stranger, they're going to sit next to you, and they're going to start pitching you a deal. Oh, and I'm like, okay, have you ever asked someone to get married when you first meet them? Well, you shouldn't. If you have, you shouldn't. And so sitting down next to a stranger and going directly into why they need to do something with you to help you, even if there's a return involved, is weird. The only people who I like at that point, I just like start collecting my things and acting like I'm getting on the phone. Like, oh, so
I gotta go.
The way to build a relationship with anybody is to, number one, come with genuine interest in like talking and getting to know them, because that is the way that you'll find out if you can even help them. Because yes, man, and he definitely should it all over himself, which I don't think that you should ever tell anybody what they should do. But he came up to me, he's like, oh, I heard you run your grandfather's family office, this and that. You guys should definitely be investing with us because we're getting this kind of return.
Oh, yeah.
We've been in real estate for 50 years, da-da-da-da. And I was kind of like, us too, actually. Mm-hmm. My grandfather bought his first piece of real estate in 1956. So
you made an assumption there.
Yeah.
And you look like an
asshole. You should at me. And then now.
You should at me.
And then you're like bombarding me with emails now. Like, you email, your assistant emails, some other stranger emails. There's just like, look at our deck. No thanks.
Nobody wants to look at your deck, dude. And by the way, decks are cute and they're beautiful and they have a time and place. Decks are not where deals are made.
Yeah.
Please, for the love of God. Like, the deals are made like this, and relationships, and then eventually it's like, do you have a deck? Oh, yeah, cool. Oh, here's the return. All right, great. But she's going to want to see the deal. She's going to want to feel the deal. She's going to know the operator. And she's going to ultimately make a decision and say, do I feel safe in this investment or not?
Right. And most of the people who are pitching me in this way are not operators. They're people who have like fund of funds. Yeah. So they're
Fun
selling
squared.
on, right. They're trying to sell me on a strategy. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. You're in somebody's mastermind and they're teaching you how to do this. But at the end of the day, I don't know you well enough to trust your judgment on picking other people.
Nailed it.
This is a trust ladder. I don't love trust. I barely trust anybody anyway, but put me on a trust ladder is crazy.
Yeah, you got a bunch of steps. And it's like that exercise. I've ever seen people are like, oh, this is a trust exercise. You're going to fall back and I'm going to catch. And then there's like the funny TikToks or YouTubes where people
drop them.
So boom! That's basically what it looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then who do I hold accountable if it's fucked up? That's my whole thing. Everything to me is only about risk management. So
yeah. Who am I calling?
Yeah.
And who am I collecting on? And are you collectible?
Yeah.
Well, listen, just to kind of wrap it here, but who, for the younger version of yourself, knowing what you know now, mm-hmm. what one piece of advice would you give? You're getting into the business world.
Don't assume that everybody has the same level of morals and integrity as you. Go into everything much slower. Date first before getting married. Definitely sign stronger contracts. But also make sure you're going into the contracts with real understanding, because contracts are just pieces of paper with people. And people can say, fuck this piece of paper very easily.
They do it all the time.
Sue me, okay? And they don't have nothing worth suing, and we don't care about nobody's credit. So, like, getting a judgment on their credit really doesn't solve a single problem for me.
You got to enforce it.
my what I would tell my younger self is literally that you have to court people, that you need to take your time, and that you should trust yourself more and stop believing that, partnering is the best plan to move forward.
No, that's a great piece of advice.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you being on here. I do. Thank you.
Thanks.
And I love that ring, by the way. What is that, snake?
Oh, it's a Rattler, baby. FAMU. Let's go.
Wow. Wow. I got schooled. Excuse me. I'm a lone FIU guy. Excuse me, okay?
What's y'all's mascot?
I don't know. It's the Panther, I think.
It is.
Florida Panther. Okay? Watch yourself.
I'm
Florida
gonna need you to have a little bit more school pride.
Yeah, I just left school behind me, you know? I got into the whole entrepreneurial world. I do love FIU though. Phew.
Hey man, you better start going to those events. The boosters and the things they can be your next investors.
What I need to do is they need FIU. If you're listening to this, you need to get me to go teach your entrepreneurship class, okay? Because I'm a good.
You want to be an adjunct professor?
No, I just want to like hop in.
That's what an adjunct professor is.
Well, I guess
they teach one class.
I wouldn't mind it just to come in every now and then.
Super fun.
Yeah, because some of those kids, man, they really need to hear like the reality of the world. Like I was sitting right there. Trust me, this is how the real world works. Okay, lady. Like this is the real deal.
That's actually why I transferred from the University of Miami to Nova Southeastern. I randomly met Wayne Huizenga at a breakfast little meeting, and he's like, "Why on earth would you want to take business lessons from people who ain't been in business?" So, in this particular subset inside of the MBA program at Nova, the entrepreneurship program is taught by people who have 8-figure exits. You cannot work here if you don't. And I said, "Oh, say less. Transfer."
Track record approved.
Right.
Done. Yeah.
And their perspectives were completely different
Of
than a
course.
person who's just teaching you from book material.
Of course, because they go through real shit. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Well, listen, I appreciate you coming by.
Yes.
And thank you for sharing. There was a lot of nuggets in that one. And a lot of funny moments, too.
Yeah, appreciate you
appreciate
for
it.
having me.
Thank you.